Hi everybody, Creative Katie Karen Burchill here, and as you can see I have a banner up for the Crafters Workshop, TCW, and that's because starting the end of January I am a brand ambassador for the Crafters Workshop, and I am absolutely thrilled to join their team. And so today what I have for you is the unboxing of what they sent me. And they sent me all the stencils of the 2019 stencil release that was just released at the end of January. So I'm going to highlight all of those as well as give you some tips for storage and organization of those stencils. So I'm just going to zoom out here. Hopefully you won't get too dizzy. So first off, when I'm storing my stencils, and I'll show you what I store them in a bit, but what I like to do is I like to label them with the name as well as be able to see the number. And part of the reason that I want to do both of those is so that I can share the names and the numbers with you so that if you want to find them, you can. So if the stencil is a straight edge, it's pretty easy and I can just write on it. But if not, what I do is I just take a piece of masking tape and I put it on an edge. Now, if I was going to stencil on an entire 12 by 12 sheet, I can peel that off at any time, right? So that's not going to worry. Now, on all the TCW stencils, they have it etched. They have the number of the stencil etched into it somewhere on the stencil, usually in the corner, but it is absolutely on the large and the small stencils. And in order to make that stand out a little bit more, what I do, and I've already done this on this, but I just take some black paint and a makeup sponge, and this one's already been done, so, and I just dab off, get it into the sponge, and I just paint over top of where that etching is. Give it a few minutes, so I do about 3 of them at a time, and then I just wipe the paint off, and as you can see, it leaves the paint in the grooves so you can very easily see the number. So if that's something that is necessary for you or something that you want to do, it's a very quick, easy way of being able to see it. So I'll give you some high contrast here. So this lovely stencil is called Love Frame, and we have an open heart here, so that brings some interesting things, and we got lots of texture and lots of pattern and design, and you know, whether you're using the whole of the stencil or parts of the stencil, there's lots of possibilities with this one. And all of these stencils come in a 6 by 6 as well as the 12 by 12, which is nice. Now you might ask yourself why you would need to get a 12 by 12 and a 6 by 6. Depends on what you're doing your art journaling and your projects. For some of my canvases, I want things a little larger scale. ATCs and iCads, I definitely want something smaller scale. And sometimes I'll be using both in the same project where you have the same motif and same design, but in different scales. So it does come in handy to have both, but you can definitely pick what works best for you. So that's Love Frame. This one is called Garden Frame, and wouldn't this be lovely even in a scrapbook page? We have lots of designs, there's lots of possibilities here. And again, we have the 6 by 6. This lovely medallion by Balzer. It's called Spring Medallion, and we have the tulips here, and I can't wait to give this a try. I'm thinking on a 12 by 12 canvas. This might just look absolutely lovely. Also by Julie, Big Flower. And we have hearts. I love these. I'm a sucker for hearts. It shows up in a lot of my art, and that we have that shape. You know, you might also just want part of the stencil. Remember, you know, one of the things that I show a lot in my videos is how we can use, you know, just this part of the stencil, or just this part, or use it as a focal point. This lovely one, we have tulips again, and this is called Heartfelt Flower. So again, we have the heart motif. And I love how we have the cutouts for the leaves on the one side, and then there's the open space. It gives you lots of possibilities. Dash Triangle. I think this one is going to show up a lot. We have oval shapes in the middle and the triangles around. I think this is going to be such an addition to my creating layers in my backgrounds. And again, we have the smaller version. And actually, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that might even be, you could use that as the head of a dandelion. The dandelion seed. That's, I kind of read that, and put on a stem. This one by Julie is Faithful Tree. And you can use it as focal point. You can use just parts of it. You could use the trunk and collage the leaves in different ways. I am so happy to see this as one of the stencils. This is called Script Words, and what I love about this is the different fonts that are used, as well as, you know, its boldness, but the size. You know, so much of what was available before was smaller, and I really want to play with this on the background. You can isolate, you know, one word karma, or queen, or cool, or days of the week, you know, by masking off, or you can use the whole thing and just have it part of the background. The small one is also a great size. This stencil has lots of possibilities. I love the round swirl shapes. That's something so here we have the swirls, and just everything about this, fantastical. And it is fantastic. And I really like the small size here as well. Another great addition to my mixed media stencil, Stone Increase. We have different sizes, so the possibilities are endless in this. And then you also have the smaller ones, so where, you know, you can mix and match and get lots. You can do a pathway, a walkway. Plaid Fringe. Loving this. I love jelly printing. I can't wait to use this on my gel plate and get some plaid designs going on. This one's called Texture Love, and it's just a feast for the eyes. We've got hearts, we've got, you know, kind of arrows, circles, swirls, rounded triangles, all sorts of different shapes. There's more arrows here and here. You know, so again, you can use this as a whole piece or littler pieces here and there. So I love stencils like this because when you go on a create date or you're traveling and you don't want to take too much, this way you can take one stencil and it has so many uses and abilities. So those are all the ones by Julie. And now we have a few art by Marlene, and this is another one of those great stencils, just like the last one, just similar to Texture Love. This one is Texture Plate, and we got different. We've got the stars. I love, 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 love this. In this area and this area, there's nothing about this that I don't love. And furthermore, it also shows me different mark making that I can use on my art journaling. Gives me ideas, and especially when you're starting out, you might say, oh well, now I can paint those swirls on, or the X's on, or I can make this design, and it gives you ideas, and you're getting those ideas from designers. And again, the small one for the iCads, for the ATCs. This one, Floral Spectacle. Marlene on the Crafters Workshop page, on their blog, on their Instagram, or Marlene's, you can go and see what she's done with this, and the bright, vivid colors with texture paste that she created. They're just works of art as is. And I'm just loving, you know, the circle shapes and all the detail. And that one's called Floral Spectacle. And you know I love me all that floral stuff. More floral, wallflowers. And I love this shape here. Just all these little cutouts. Just makes me happy. The last one by Art by Marlene is Sun Valley, and we have an entire scene here with the tree and the sun and the path, and you know, everything's there. So this can be a focal point on your art journal page, or again, you can just use bits and pieces of it. Carmen Medlin is the next designer. And I'm loving these. I love the fonts. Always in my heart. We have the heart shape. Valentine's Day is coming up. This one's going to be developed very, very, very quickly. And then Wild and Free. And with all of these, there's 4 of them that she has words with. You can just use the images if you want. You can just use the words if you want. It's kind of like a twofer. You're getting great value for your money. And I love these hearts coming out here. Again, it's like these designers got in my brain and said, we're going to make Karen really happy. Follow your joy. This joy, find joy, seek joy, that has been my word or whatever. So this, I can see me just putting on a canvas, having a colorful background, and using some of the great modeling paste from the Crafters Workshop and creating. And again, we have all of these in the smaller version. And you can take, you know, if the words don't fit, you know, this is just a little bit bigger. This might be a perfect size for iCads. Hallelujah. We've got this beautiful sun going through the clouds. Just think what you can do with ink on that. Wisteria. Hanging down. If you turn it, you can have, I see, stalks or delphiniums in the garden. Can make part of a background in a garden. Wish I had this a little while ago, Coral Spray. If you've seen some of my videos, you know I'm very inspired by the ocean. I now live by the ocean, and I love all things ocean, and it's coming out in my art. So this was definitely a great addition. And you can also just use this as part of an interesting pattern in a background. I think this is going to be so interesting on a gel plate as well. As is this one. We have wave and great as a focal point, but look at all the detail here. Oh, that's going to be absolutely lovely on a gel plate. Patterning. Pineapple. Again, look at all that texture. So you can do the focal point. And then you can use just parts of it. The next designer is Rebecca Meyer. We have some script here, and this is called Butterfly Reflections. This looks like hydrangeas to me. I'm interested to see what this looks like when I stencil, when I use modeling paste. And what I'm going to do is some videos where I'm just getting to know my stencils, so you can maximize the use. The worst thing you can do is not use your stencil. Let it sit there. You have to put ink through it. You have to put modeling paste through it. Put it on the gel plate and see what it gives you. This one's Spring Silhouette. So we've got a bunny and a heart. I believe that's a carrot. Here's one I'm excited to try and see on a gel plate for my backgrounds with texture paste. I'm getting ideas. And a suggestion that I have is keep a book beside you. And when you get new stencils and you've got ideas flowing for what you might want to use it for, write those down. Because on those days where you're stuck and you don't know what to do, flip through that and refresh your memory. This reminds me of quilting. My mom does quilts, and so this definitely takes me there. This is ink print. And I love the kind of grunge edges. They're not perfectly straight, and I think that's going to add a lot of interest. This also reminds me of like quilt blocks, as does this one. Another Rebecca Meyer. And this one's called Circle Tile, sorry. This one, Layered Wallpaper. Loving this. I'm thinking this is just going to look so awesome as pattern and texture on the gel plate. Linked tiles. Quattro motifs. Oh, we have a little bit of loving this kind of design. Wish this was like a bigger one. I wish all of them were bigger, but I do have them smaller, so I'm happy with that too. This one, Sunflower Mandala. And again, I can see the possibilities with this stencil. On the gel plate, you can use the center part, you can use just the outside part. And the last one, Delicate Impression. So we have a dragonfly, and we have this kind of script, compass. You know, I think those are going to make some very interesting markings and patterns that are going to add a lot of interest to your art journal page, to your mixed media. So before I move along to some more stencils that they had with their 2019 January release, I just want to show you where I'm going to put and how I store my 12x12 stencils as well as my 6x6. And I get a scrapbook album. Now this one it's a mega album, and it has 50 pages, which means it's going to hold 100 stencils. Now inside the papers are black, which is going to show off my stencils very, very, very well. So when it's black, there is no need to stencil on them because I will be able to see them. Now this one I took out. I'm going to turn this, and I apologize for the glare, and I'm just going to slide that in. So we can, as I flip through, I can just see all my stencils and see what it does, what will be. So whatever's black, I keep reminding myself because I keep reversing this. Whatever's black is I have to put color, or that's what will be modeling paste along those lines. So I just am going to do this, and I just slide them all in and just keep going like that. And I can see the names and everything that are there. I just find this is really, really helpful. A friend of mine, Nikki G, she just has them in this, but in a scrapbook plastic case. So they're in the plastic, and then they're in kind of a storage plastic. So, but I'm not going to do that with you. And I'm going to grab, they have some more rustic sign stencils, as well as something else with the 2019, something brand new, and I'll be right back. So with the 2019 release, the Crafters Workshop also releases cookie stencils. So these are measuring 5 by 5, 5.5 by 5.5, and they are intended to be used to decorate cookies and cupcakes and cakes. And when I flip through this, you're going to recognize a lot of the top stencils of the Crafters Workshop. Some of those same patterns have been brought into this realm. They're made of food-safe materials. However, I will admit that I'm in all likelihood going to be using them in my mixed media art, in my art journaling, and not to decorate cakes and cookies, much to my husband's disappointment. So I'm just going to pull those over, and we will go through these. This one is bricks. Heart background. Mini dots. One of my all-time favorite Crafters Workshop stencils, swirls. I have the 12 by 12 in the same pattern. That would look awesome on a cake or cookie. Star shower. Swiss dot. Wood grain. Harlequin, another one of my all-time favorites. Random dots. Stripes. And you can go this way and that way, make your plaid. Zigzag. Whoops. Bright stars. Striped circle. Diamond Dash. Loving this one. Little diamonds. Checkerboard. Another favorite of mine, quadrifoil. It's so delicate. That would look awesome on a cookie. Lattice. Sunburst. Waves. I see rainbows. This would be good for if you're doing a mermaid cake. These would be mermaid scales. Snowflakes, which unfortunately, February 3rd, I am looking outside on Vancouver Island in Victoria, and it is snowing today. Fan flower. I think this would look spectacular on a cake or cupcake or cookie, and I think it's going to even look even better in my mixed media. Sugar skull. Brocade. Fleur-de-lis. And these next ones, you can clip them here and here, and then you have a mask of one shape and a stencil of the bigger shape. I think in mixed media and art journaling you can cut that out, and then that would be a place that you can do your art journaling. Or I think what I would do, because I have to try it now, right? I've said it. I would cut this out and I'd input another stencil there. So then we'd have maybe so that was rounded plaque. This is scallop plaque. Nope. Sorry, let's go back here. I'm all confused. So with these you can cut here, and I would just use on a cutting mat, I would just use an X-Acto knife and clip it out, and you end up with a mask as well as a stencil area. I think in art journaling you can, have that in there, and then that would be a place that you could do your journaling if that's something that you do as part of your art journaling. This is rounded plaque. Pointed plaque, square plaque, rounded plaque, oops, hang on, yeah, rounded plaque, and scallop plaque. So for these, I think what I'm going to do now, just because they have this handy dandy little hole and tab on that side, what I think I'm going to do, and I will, use it, instead of storing it, I'm thinking we're just going to put them like that and have the little key. So I'm just putting 10 of them at a time, and I just have the little rings. So while we're all familiar with the Crafters Workshop and their stencils, something that I didn't know until probably July of 2018 is that Crafters Workshop also has a mixed media line. And in my box of goodies, I got some of that. And I'm just going to share with you what I have and what I got. And so you can be aware of that. And if you're watching my videos, I will be making and using those products and letting you know. So we have 4-ounce tubes of heavy body acrylic paint. So, and I love, love, love the names that they've given. Somebody came up with. We've got Kale Smoothie. And this is close to a phthalo green. We have Blue Jelly Bean. Blueberry Pie, which is very close to an ultramarine blue in some of the other brands, just so you know. The Grape Jelly is close to a Diox Purple, although I think it reads a little bit more blue, and I actually love this. I had gotten a Diox Purple from another brand, not Liquitex, and it was more blue and I loved it, so I'm happy to see that. Lemon Custard, Orange Slice, Candy Apple Red. This is more red than any of the reds that I have in the other brands. So I'm really happy with that. So many of my reds seem to read more on the pink side. Speaking of pink, Raspberry Sorbet. And then we have Spun Sugar and Black Licorice. And 2 iridescent. We have iridescent gold and iridescent silver. Now, you've seen me doing this before. What I do right away when I get any new paint is I swatch it out, and I just get these stickers from the dollar store, and I paint the sticker and put it on the lid. And that will let you know right away what, I'm just going to get rid of how the shades look. So if you're comparing it to other paints that you have, you can look at it and then pick the right color for the project that you are working on. And it's always a good idea to use your new mediums, your new paints. You know, when you swatch them out, you're going to see how opaque they are or translucent they are. And that will help. A lot of these seem to be more opaque than other things that I've used. So I'm going to be really interested in using those. So one of the things I'm going to do in another video is I am going to do some color mixing with just the Crafters Workshop paints. I'm going to mix the orange and, you know, the orange slice and the raspberry parfait. I'm going to mix the different colors, and we will see what other colors and shades of colors that we can come up with. And I think that will be really useful, because you're looking and saying, well, there's not very many colors, and the truth is you can mix a lot of them. And in fact, I love mixing paints right on the page. I just love the depth of the colors that I get by doing that. So I will be curious to see, because every paint has different pigments in it, and depending on the pigments, when you mix them, you're going to get something maybe a little bit different. So I'm anxious to see that. So also part of the Crafters Workshop mixed media set, we have white gesso and black gesso, clear gesso, gold, and silver gesso. So I'm going to be experimenting with this. I've used white and black, but I haven't done a whole lot with clear or gold or silver. So I will be doing some researching and finding out and seeing how and what this will do to my art, how I can incorporate that into my art. They also have their shimmery goodness, which is a iridescent that kind of pearlized look. It adds shimmer to, you can mix it with paint or gel, and it dries clear and iridescent. So it's absolutely lovely. You've seen me using that before, and I'm so glad I got more because I am out. They also have gel medium, matte, and gloss. So I'll be anxious to test those out and see what I can do with modeling paste. You've seen me use the light. So you've seen me use their light and fluffy modeling paste, and I love it. So I'm out. So I'm thrilled that I have another container of this. It dries so quickly, and I also have their nice and thick modeling paste, and if you hold it, it's even much heavier than this. We have those modeling pastes. Then in the modeling paste line, we have black modeling paste. Thrilled with this. This will not last me long. And clear modeling paste. Then they do something where they combine two things that I absolutely love. They combine shimmer and texture. So we have champagne gold, Grecian gold, and antique gold modeling paste, and then copper penny. Yum. Then we have white pearl, platinum, sterling silver, and marcasite. And I quickly swatched these out so you can see the shimmer that's there. I didn't put too much. I just wanted mostly the color, so I know. I'm loving the copper, but I'm loving all of them. It's shimmer and texture. So I'm definitely going to have fun seeing what I can do with these products. Then they have two products that I don't know what to do with, so I will be doing more research. Tacky when dry gel medium and hot foil gel. So thank you for watching my unboxing video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm looking forward to this year being TCW, the Crafters Workshop brand ambassador, playing with all these stencils, bringing ideas to you. If you saw a stencil or a product and you are really curious about it and you absolutely want me to do a video on it, leave that comment down below and I will try my hardest to accommodate. Right now, I have to go and decide what stencil I'm going to use first. So many lovely choices. My mind is just going in all sorts of directions. So keep watching.